There's a variety of different ways that we work with photographers.
Assignments, pickups of work, self-publishing, advertising.
One way is we see a project that we just have to produce, and that happens to me a lot, where I see things and I'm just like, we just have to work on this project. And what we will do in that case is we will bring all the post-production. So, that can cost me anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000. If we work on something for a year, it might cost us $100,000 to produce it. And the photographer, obviously, in that case, is bringing years of reportage. So, we both have skin in the game. We both are bringing a lot to the table. And as part of that partnership, we produce a piece and we go to the market, we try to syndicate it, license, generate revenue off it, and then we share that 50-50. So we brought the post, they brought the reporting, and we share 50-50 in the success.
You can always shoot an advertising campaign or, tell stories on behalf of a company.
The old models are broken when it comes to finance, and the requirement for finance is a lot less. I know of major feature films which have been made for £8,000 with small crews, but those feature films have then taken those filmmakers onto another feature film with a slightly larger budget, and those filmmakers are now working in Hollywood.
Another model that is really successful for us is a client will come to us with a project and they pay us to produce that project. So that's where we actually generate the revenue that helps us pay for stuff that we're not going to make piles of money on. We just have to go do it. So we basically work for clients. We take on projects that we really believe in, but that the financial resources that we win there allow us to fund other projects that we really care about.
Up until this point, multimedia journalism has mainly been financed by the media companies who've invested in it. There has been some investment by the new media companies in buying content from the traditional media, but most of the content that has been produced has effectively been subsidized by the print publication.
当然我感觉像这几家里头，南方都市报的发展比较稳健的。你可以看到他的团队在不断的扩大，他的部门建制整个的架构也比较合理，还有好几个部门。那么其他的，你比如说像今天已经有反映《金华时报》的那个部门主任骆永红，他现在他要首先，他的老板他的 boss 给他的任务不是说你要做什么多媒体的尝试，而是你先给我做经营商业运营，你要赚钱，对吧？这个给他带来很大的压力。他为了赚钱，他就去做别的事情。做商业就是做广告性质的那种多媒体，非新闻的多媒体，那这离他的本行，这做新闻采访类的多媒体，新闻类的那纯正的新闻的多媒体的表达，越来越远。
I think it's important to understand that it has always been the place of the creative person to tell their story and to become confused by the need for budget and an obsession with arranging finance or relying upon funding or grants or sponsorship is to misunderstand the importance of the work.
I think right now the biggest financing model is to have plural financing models, right? I feel that whether it's getting a day rate or 2 or 3 to shoot a particular aspect that could be a story in itself for a news site like NBCnews.com that fits into a larger project.
I'm very excited about the crowdfunding. I think if that model actually can work for a lot of different people and a lot of different scenarios, it's a really interesting model because I'm also a little bit of a romantic, and the reason I went to work for Magnum is that it's still this independent cooperative that's free of big corporations and independent and the crowdsourcing model sort of or the crowdfunding model sort of caters to that scenario as well. It will enable some people to do stuff that's free of all these different interests and not dictated by an industry.
It's been pretty tight, for content production lately.
None of us got into this to make piles of money, but if you're going to spend 5 years covering a story, you got to eat.
东方早报做视频，持续了很长一段时间，但是目前来讲是有一点点，相对来讲退化。是我们在这样的一个multimedia 的这样的一个视频的这样的一个事业上面，我们相对来讲没有足够多的资金的投入和支持。就是这样的大量的这样的非常细小的这样的视频报道，它在体量上面不足以支撑我们投入这么大精力财力投入这么多以后，它不足以支撑获得一个比较好的利润或者口碑。
Basically, digital media continue to be supported by advertising, subscription, and so then sort of tapping into that as a freelance producer, for example, it's being able to go to a company, a media company, or create one that's able to reach those audiences. That's really easy for me to say. It's it can be a lot harder to do, but it's possible. There is opportunity out there.
It was maybe 5-6 years ago, I finally stopped answering the emails from people saying, what are your other jobs? How are you making a living? This is my job. That's what I do every day. I work at MediaStorm. We have a business that works.
It's about obviously distribution and syndication and all these ways of producing and earning money around it. I don't know. Precisely that's what we try to do. Or we're trying to do, being able to and help them distribute their stuff.
We have found a model that works to run our business. We've been in business for 8 years now, doing just doing this, and we're finding now that that can be replicated, and that's pretty exciting to us. We actually teach other people how to run businesses just like ours. We have a workshop called the Methodology Workshop, where we invite people into our operation. They spend a week with us, and we teach them how to do what we do, which drives my advisory board crazy. They're like, why are you giving away your business model? And the reason that we're doing that is because we want to see the ecosystem expand. There's more projects that we could possibly do. We don't have any lack of need for client work. We're busy all the time. So how can we help other people not make the same mistakes that we've made? Start them here instead of way back here where we started. Why can't we just get them going from here, and share with them the ideas and the solutions that we have found?
There's always going to be a market and a drive for news. People want to know what's happening in the world, and that's not going to just go away. It's just a matter of how that model, how that news is going to be distributed. That is what's going to change, and how it's going to be paid for. Maybe news will ultimately become nonprofit. I don't know what it is, but definitely it's not going to disappear from the earth. And when we're just in a very interesting time right now where everything is getting shaken up and it's all changing.
The new media companies are now beginning to build their own multimedia departments. They are buying content from the traditional media, plus they are also starting to produce their own and paying their own photographers to produce that. Again, that is primarily subsidized. They do have advertising on those sites, but it doesn't pay for it, and it's subsidized by other things that they do in those new media organizations.
In the end, I think it's probably going to be a mixture of a lot of different things. Sometimes you're going to charge for certain kinds of content. Sometimes you're going to take donations. Sometimes it's going to be free. Sometimes it's going to have advertising around it. It depends on the topic and the context, basically.